In 1885, James Cooper spent his last $100 buying a graveyard in an abandoned ghost town. Everyone said he'd lost his mind. 3 years later, that same graveyard made him the richest man in Colorado. This is the story of how a cowboy turned death into an empire, and why his investment strategy is still studied today. It was winter, 1885. James Cooper had lost everything. His cattle died in the freeze. His wife left him. His own brother wouldn't let him sleep in the barn. All he had left was $100 and a story he'd heard from his grandfather, a tale about what lies beneath graveyards. Dead Man's Ridge was a ghost town. Everyone had left when the silver ran out. All that remained were 43 graves and broken dreams. The town clerk actually laughed when James asked to buy the graveyard. "You want to buy where we bury our dead? For what?" James paid his $100, got a deed to 5 acres of what everyone called cursed ground. For the next year, people would ride by just to mock him. They'd see James sitting by the graves, writing in his notebook, taking samples of dirt, testing rocks. They called him Graveyard Cooper, the man who bought hell itself. But James knew something nobody else did. His grandfather had been a geologist in Pennsylvania, taught him one crucial fact: the dead always tell you what's below. James wasn't studying graves, he was studying the plants. Certain flowers grew only where specific minerals lay beneath. Purple violets meant one thing, yellow dandelions another. And in this graveyard, every spring, bright blue flowers appeared. Flowers his grandfather said only grew in one condition, when massive copper deposits lay beneath. The silver miners had been so focused on their shiny metal, they'd missed the real treasure. The entire ridge was sitting on a copper vein worth millions. But James needed proof and money to dig. For 2 years, he worked as a gravedigger in nearby towns, studying soil, learning patterns, building his case. He wrote to 32 mining companies. They all rejected him. Who would trust a man who bought a graveyard?
Then came the turning point. Thomas Edison announced copper was the future, essential for his electrical revolution. Copper prices doubled overnight. James had one last chance. He took his samples to Professor William Thompson at Colorado School of Mines. The professor's verdict: "This is the purest copper ore I've ever seen." But there was a problem. The law said you couldn't mine under graves. James would have to convince every single family to move their dead. He spent 6 months tracking down 43 families, offered to pay for new plots, new headstones, everything. 42 families agreed, but one held out: the Mackenzies. Their daughter was buried there. James rode 300 miles to meet them. What he did next changed everything. He didn't offer money. Instead, he promised to build a school in their daughter's name. She wanted to be a teacher, her mother had said. They agreed. The first drill hit copper at 60 feet, the second at 40 feet, the third at just 20 feet. It wasn't just a vein, it was a massive deposit, worth $8 million in 1888 money, over $250 million today. The same mining companies that rejected him now begged to buy in. James had a better idea. He formed his own company, hired local workers, built that school he promised. By 1890, his copper mine employed 500 people. The ghost town became a boom town. And that graveyard, he turned it into a park with 43 copper statues, one for each family that trusted him. James Cooper died in 1922, worth over $30 million, but his legacy wasn't just money. The school he built still stands, the park still has those 43 statues, and his investment strategy, looking for what everyone else overlooked, is still taught today. He proved that true wealth isn't just seeing what's there, it's understanding why it's there. Sometimes, he wrote in his diary, the best opportunities are in the places everyone else fears to look. You just need the patience to study, the courage to act, and the heart to remember why you started. Follow the Hat Legends for more incredible stories of cowboys who saw fortune where others saw nothing.